Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card, we are taking a look at what guidance your higher self has for you right now. So I have 3 crystals for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1, we have the pyrite. Pile number 2, we have the clear quartz. And pile number 3, we have the aventurine pendulum. So, see which crystal you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages your higher self has for you right now, what guidance your higher self has for you. So you guys chose the pyrite crystal. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get straight in. So pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1, messages from, I keep being shown the sun from the Teletubbies. You know, like with the little baby face inside. I literally just got shown that. There's a reference to get outside into the sun, even if the sun isn't out. There's a reference to get outside and be outside right now. I don't know if you've been downloading a lot, or maybe some of you guys may work with spirit, because I see like somebody being very top heavy. So that's the crown chakra, third eye. I'm seeing a lot of that energy. So I don't know if it's either a case of you guys maybe working with spirit a lot, or it could be that you've been in the downloading stage. I know there's a lot of frequency shifts on earth right now, so you could have been downloading a lot of messages or getting a lot of messages through. That could be something that's been happening for you guys and you've been opening up to that, or it could just be like in regards to like the mental brain, like taking on or bringing in information. If you guys, like, I keep being shown somebody on a computer, and I keep being shown something downloading, which could either reference you guys having a lot of downloads, being very open in your crown, or again, you could literally be like working in an office. There's a lot of clutter in the mind, and you're being called to literally be outside right now, no matter the weather. But there's something about the sun and getting, you know, it's almost like activating, it's replenishing me. I want to say spiritual hygiene is a message coming through, making sure to cleanse your energy and come back to base. You don't always have to be on is the message. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Guidance from pile number 1's higher self. We have the 2 of Wands. Guidance from pile number 1's higher self. Hang on, my ring is falling off. Guidance from pile number 1's higher self, please. Guidance from pile number 1's higher selves. We have the 7 of Wands. Guidance from pile number 1's higher self, please. We have the Hermit and the 8 of Wands. So a lot of Wands energy. With the Hermit card in the middle, and then the back of the deck we have the Knight of Swords. Okay, Knight of Swords at the back of the deck, 2 of Wands, 7 of Wands, the Hermit, the 8 of Wands. I keep being shown like 2 mountains and then there's a rope dangling, and it's like if I try to jump from one mountain to the other, I'm literally gonna fall down the middle. Like I don't have the capacity, I don't have the weight to jump from one mountain to the other. It's like impossible for that to work, even though I want to get to the other side. But then it's almost like looking up and then there's a rope. But it's like, however, if I grab onto this rope, I can create a bridge which literally brings me from this mountain to the other. So I don't know if you guys have been trying to set up a business, or you've been trying to jump to literally another timeline, another paradigm, or you've been wanting to make something your reality. Jasper just literally curled, because Jasper's with me, he literally just curled over. Do you know when they put their paws over their face? That's what he just did. That was really sweet. But you're being I'm being referenced like you guys trying to make something happen and then you feel like everything's crumbling. It's almost like I'm trying to build a sandcastle while the tide's coming in, or I'm trying to stack up a deck of cards to make a house of cards, but it's really windy, and it's like, how can I know this is for me, but it's like I need to create a foundation. So then I'm being shown like, okay, let's move the sandcastle over here, or let's create a let's go get a cardboard box and start building their deck of cards inside the box so that there's a solid foundation for them to be built without the wind kind of gushing them away. So I feel like you may have been asking for guidance or help within a certain situation, making something your reality, maybe just feeling happy, or just feeling a little sense of inner peace, or building something up that you'd like maybe you've been trying to build social media, you've been trying to build like a career website, or you've been trying to build something that is going to either bring you peace or bring you some sense of abundance. And I feel like you ask for that, so I see the universe then bringing in a gust of change, or trying to put things into place first to create that bridge, let's say. But it's almost like right now you may be looking at that bridge, or you may be looking at that rope dangling down as a little bit of a nuance. You may be looking at that rope dangling down as like, it's getting in the way, it's distracting me, it's confusing me. But that rope dangling down is what you grab onto to jump to the other side. But there's like a realization that has to be had, because I feel like there may be like a shift or a change that may be happening that you may be looking at right now and be thinking, this is just getting in the way, this is a roadblock, when in actuality it's not a roadblock, it's a building block to bridge you to where you need to go. It could be something that's being taken away so you can have focus on something else. I'm being told to say this story. I remember back in 2019, it was late 2019, and I was starting my self-love journey and all of that, and I was doing a course at the time, and I was really, because I have trouble when I want to bring something into the physical. I have trouble. Well, I used to have more trouble than I do now, because I was always up in my higher chakras. I wasn't grounding a lot. So I was like in a routine, and I was working out and everything. Anyway, I started to find after I'd work out, I'd stick my TV on, and I would like derail a lot of the plans I had for that morning. I'd not meditate, I'd not, ground myself, I'd not get things into order, because I'd be like, let me have my breakfast and watch TV, and I'd watch like an hour or two of TV before I'd go to work at the time. And I remember one day I'd come home and I stuck my TV on, and my TV didn't work. My TV had broken, and I was really annoyed at the time, because I looked at it like a roadblock. It's like, what are my mornings gonna be like now? Like, I'm waking up in the morning and I have my coffee and I watch TV, like, what am I gonna do now? And I saw it as a roadblock, and it was like, this is awful. However, my mornings after that were like, what can I do? Okay, let me meditate, let me ground, let me do this, let me do that. And I started to tick things off the list. And even though it looked like a roadblock, 'cause it's like my morning routine's ruined, my morning routine got much better, and I actually started doing a lot of journaling in that time and manifesting the life that I have now, literally. So it was annoying at the time, but it was a block that was put there. A lot of the times when there's a door has to be closed for something to be opened, and I don't think it's anything like that that's too serious for you guys. It's more so there's something happening right now that you're looking at, and a lot of you may know what I'm talking about, but it's like you may be looking at it like, this isn't helping me, this is a roadblock, like this rope's just swinging in my face. But it's like something from spirit for you to climb onto to get things focused. I always find when I'm supposed to make a change in my work, like my finances will dip a little bit, my work will dip a little bit, but it gets my attention and it gets my head in the game to build something else of substance on top of it, so that when that's said and done, that was actually a bridge that got me to maybe start saving my money, and then I could put it towards something that I really needed, or it was making me think of like another way to make money, or another avenue that I wanted to go down. And then it kind of takes me on that journey, even though in the moment I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? I find that happens sometimes, and it's going to be different for all of you, but there is something being placed right now that you're being asked to reconsider and look at differently, because I feel like it's something you're being called to hold on to and swing to where you need to go. Because I do feel for you guys, and I was being shown it when I opened up, I was seeing you guys walking into an egg, you know, like an incubator, like it's almost like you're walking in and becoming like a little like baby chick, and then it's like while that's happening outside, there's a lot of like there's a lot of transformations going on. Like I'm being shown an egg, and then there's like a hurricane, but you're safe inside of this egg, and you're just like getting things together inside of this egg. So when then it's time for the hurricane to be over, you pop out and you would have got X, Y, and Z done. So there's something you're being called to focus on, or maybe, because I'm being shown the Four of Pentacles, maybe it's almost like centering your energy where you really need it right now, which, like I said, for some of you guys felt a bit top heavy. My candle just you can't see the candle, but the flame just went shook, so I feel like that was confirmation. Some of you guys have been feeling quite top heavy, so you're being called to maybe like not take a break with the downloads if you don't intuitively feel like you're supposed to, but definitely prioritize more earthy things right now, the physical body right now, practically putting things into order right now, taking time out to rest for you right now. You're being called to really focus on that right now as these shifts take place, because I do feel for some of you guys, you've been downloading and downloading stage. For some of you guys, I'm being told psychic gifts may have felt very heightened, but for a tree to go like, you know, super high into the air, it has to have really deep roots. So right now it's like you've been all the way up there, now you're being called to deeply root yourself in. I keep being shown hands being placed over the body, like soothing the body. So some of you guys may be called to literally hermit physically and really take care of your body right now and center yourself into your body. Again, go outside was a message, but for others of you, it's almost like make sure that you are again, spiritual hygiene, like closing down after working with spirit and setting boundaries with spirit too. I used to have really bad trouble getting to sleep, because when I'd go to sleep I'd get loads of downloads, but my body needed rest and I was still getting downloads. So I remember like as well as placing boundaries with people, I need to place boundaries with spirit. So I would say, spirit guides, can you like help me just like put a veil over my higher chakras when I go to sleep, so I can just get a good rest, because when it's time to wake up and do this work, I'm gonna be too tired to do it and burnt out. So spirit would help me do that, and I would just be like very 3D for the night, so I could just focus on the physical world for the night, and I, you know, would open up again in the morning when I was going to work. So there's a reference of that. If you guys have been feeling burnt out, if you have been working with spirit, remember that you can set boundaries with spirit too. And also, again, spiritual hygiene. When I talk about closing down the chakras, I don't mean like they're closed and you're never going to get a message. I just mean that it's like when we work our muscles, when we come out of the gym and we let our muscles rest, it doesn't mean that our muscles disappear. It doesn't mean we're never going to pick up anything again. We need our muscles, but we're just not flexing them in that moment. So when I'm saying to maybe put a headgear over your crown, I don't mean you're closing everything down for good. You'll still get messages through. You're just not going to be in this constant state of flow, which will then lead to burnout. You're still going to get messages, but when they need to come in. So that's a reference as well. You don't need to be on all the time is a really strong message, which again, it could be referring to if you're working in a place where you have to speak a lot, like office jobs and stuff. You know, when you come home, make sure that phone is off. Make sure that you have quiet time for you. Make sure that you're really grounding and just chilling out. You know what I mean? That's a strong reference as well, because you may be, if you have been working a lot, you may be feeling like you can't work as much, or you can't do as much like that you were doing, and you may be looking at that as the roadblock, which is actually the stepping stone, because it's like rest so you have more energy, especially if you've been trying to align with something or get something done. So yeah, let's pull some oracle cards. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1, messages from pile number 1's higher self. Messages from pile number 1's higher self. We have the white stag, protector. You are an old soul. Your best friend is nature. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go. Awaken to the powerful force within you. You are meant to create blessings with your magic. I love that it says your best friend is nature, because that's what I was being called for you guys to maybe get out into nature and not have to think so much and not have to be so much. Just become part of nature when you're out there and really let it tap into your heart frequency, because nature is here to replenish us. And, you know, nature does have a spirit, and nature does respond to us, because nature is, you know, a part and a root of the universe. It's part of the universe. It is the universe. It's Mother Gaia, and she's here to replenish us the same way that, you know, the universe will replenish us and we replenish ourselves. So that's a really strong reference there. You may also find for you guys that animals or insects, anything to do with your animal kingdom or maybe even nature, shows up to you to show their protection. Like, I'm being shown feathers, I'm being shown I don't know why I'm being shown caterpillars, ladybirds. You may find cats just kind of follow you about a little bit, crows. Yeah, I just see a lot of animals around you. So you may be seeing that a lot of animals are around you right now, because I see animals coming around to soothe you or like responding to your vibration. So that was a reference. But yeah, you're being called to get out into nature. Pile number, because I feel like if you have dogs or cats or guinea pigs or hamsters, there's something about them be like helping you clear right now. So if you found that you're because you may have been purging a little bit. I know it's been heavy, so you could have actually been purging a little bit, and that's where the burnout is kind of coming from. But I see animals around you like gravitating towards you, because it's like, if you're not gonna know, because there was this feeling of you not being in nature too much, and there was this reference of like, if you're not gonna get out to nature, nature's gonna come to you. And then it's like insects, you may be seeing a lot of like insects, or your animals may be around you a lot, because it's like we're soothing and we're helping you balance your energies, because I feel like you've been burnt out a little bit. Pile number, let me know if you've had strange incidents with like insects or animals, like an animal just coming into your house, or like going for a walk and like an animal's just followed you, or you had like feathers, you know, come to you, or I keep being shown like insects in the home. Let me know, because I feel like there's a key there, there's like a significance there. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides. We have dragons, supernatural. You are the ancient wise sage. You can shapeshift at will. Mastering is your destiny. Rise with dignity. Dragons are very connected to earthy energy. I find whenever I tap into like dragon energy, it feels very grounded. Like, I find when I'm connecting to something that's very like celestial, it comes through very fast, like the Fae. It's like the downloads come and it's like boom, 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 boom. But when I tap into like stone people and like dragons, like giant beings and stuff like that, it feels slow and grounded. And that's why I feel that they've come through. And if you've ever accessed, you know, dragon energy, it always comes through a chamber in the heart chakra. So I feel like you're being called to really sit with the earth right now and allow your heart to kind of be rebooted and replenished with the earthy energies, as well as your vessel. Because I feel like with the protector coming through really strong, and then like supernatural, I feel like a lot of you guys work with the supernatural, or may have been going through an ascension that's been very celestial, if you can see the kind of colors from the stars behind, and that's where you're being called to root in, because we have to ground and root too. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 1's higher self. My ears are burning. I don't know if you guys have like hot ears right now. Someone's wearing ear muffs or something. I just feel like my ears are hot. We also have the snow leopard, self-reliance. You are strongly independent and often solitary. Integrity is important for your best outcome. Cloak yourself with invisibility and walk with the shamans. Use your intuition and let your life unfold in silent perfection. If you've been wanting to work, like build something in regards to your career, there's almost this feeling of like drowning out the noise and getting to work with it slowly, which I think is the cardboard around the cards that were falling, like the rope. It's almost like go behind the scenes and do that work behind the scenes now, even if you need to go ghost. You know, let yourself rest up so you can push forward with this. Let yourself fall back a minute so you can push forward. It's like, that's what I'm getting from the self-reliance, the snow leopard energy. It's like, hibernate until it's spring, but while you're in hibernation, make moves. Like, but it's like moves that are going to create this foundation. And again, it's going to be different for all of you. Whether it's saving money, whether it's taking a course, whether it's, you know, listening to your physical body if you feel that your physical body needs rest right now, and listening to maybe emotions that are coming up in that. So that's a really strong reference here, because there's this feeling of hibernation. I know we're in August now, so it's going to be time soon for fall, autumn time, and we're going to be hibernating, you know, in the northern hemisphere. So there's a reference of that, because there's something like come behind the scenes and work on something a second, you know. That's a reference. So let's pull your final card. Pile number 1, messages from pile number 1's higher self. Pile number 1. Because I feel like you've been asking for change for some time, and that's where that rope's coming in, because it's like, this is the answer, but it's a different route that you thought you would take. Maybe you've geared up to start working on something before. Maybe you've geared up to get things in order before, but you took a different path. So you maybe stood at that path like, why isn't it opening for me? Why isn't it opening for me? But you're going somewhere different. That's why there was like 2 rocks and you jump in somewhere different. It's going to take a completely different leap, and on top of that, you're no longer the person that you were when you first set out on it, or when you first made a shift, or when you first, you know, decided to align with something. You're now somebody very different, so you now have to move accordingly. You have to now you know, go down a completely different path. It's a different path for you, and this, whatever it is that is this rope, that's the path. That's a doorway into that path. But right now you're like, why is it just swinging? Why is this happening? Pile number 1. Pile number 1, please, Spirit Guides, guidance from pile number 1's higher self. Oh God, guidance from pile number 1's higher self, please. Okay. I don't know how to say the word, so I'm just going to show you it, so that I don't butcher it. So let me put that down. I just went into the book because I really wanted to read the passageway, and this is what the book says. Do not give up, but allow your heart to disengage from your struggles. Give yourself much needed rest. You are in a phase of recovery. If you have been off your path, you are going to come back strong. You will regain your spark of passion, inspiration, and devotion. A certain order of events need to take place for your soul path to come to fruition. Commit yourself to your sacred journey, trusting that the right thing will happen at the right time. So there's an answer, literally, to something you've been asking for, or maybe coming out of a dark night, or building a business that you have in mind, or getting things together if you've been feeling burnt out and you're trying to keep your head underwater. Spirit's working with you so strongly. I think sometimes you forget to realize, and right now it's like I was being shown you walking into an egg, and then there's change behind because you had the 8 of Wands. There's change going on behind while you are in this egg because it's the Hermit card, and then when you step out there's going to be a shift, but you need to build that egg for you to get inside of first. So you're being called to grab onto that rope, whatever it is, because that rope is going to help you necessarily build that egg, if that makes sense. Grabbing onto what looks like a roadblock right now and really analyzing and looking at maybe something that's hindering your path in a different way. You're going to see how maybe that's the rock in the murky waters, or the rock in the choppy waters that you may feel you're in right now, that you're meant to rest on until the tide goes down. And it may look like it's in your way because you're trying to swim to the other end of the sea, but right now you need to hold on to it and you need to rest, because while you're holding on to it, it's going to bring wisdom to you. It's going to bring downloads to you. You're going to be able to see a different path. Maybe you've been in a very masculine energy, working really hard. Or maybe you've just been constantly, if you work with spirit, working for others and bringing messages through for others, you forgot to bring messages through for yourself. Or you forgot to take that much needed rest and guidance for yourself. So there's a reference here of holding on to that rock while these waters may be feeling a little bit choppy because there is a shift. Don't make it harder on yourself is the message. And whatever it is that this rope represents for you that you may be seen as a hindrance, it's going to help you swing to the other side and make changes. It's changing your path to take you where you needed to go, and it's an answered prayer, but you need to work with it, not against it, because it's working for you is the message. And if you really are feeling burnt out and you're needing to, you know, fall back a little bit, recover, take some much needed time for you, please do that. I keep being shown massages. Remember at the beginning I felt like hands were going on my body. I think like when I say hand therapy, I mean like when we massage, where, you know, moving, I don't know how to word it, but like we're moving energy, let's just say, around our body, and it's being moved. And, you know, when we have tension in our muscles, it's being worked out of us. We store energy in our body when we're clearing it from other people, when we're going through emotions. Sometimes it can get trapped, and that's where you'll find a lot of people may have pent up energy, maybe in their wrists, their ankles, their necks, their shoulders, and just doing stretches or maybe having someone massage you and move it around, it can really help clear that and release. And I feel like that may be a much needed release for some of you guys. So if you can get a massage, please do. If you can't, that's fine. Maybe just doing some stretches and moving your body in a way that can help. Or if you have, you know, a partner or anyone around you, maybe asking them for a massage if you can. But yeah, I feel like that is something that would really, really help you. But I see a lot of animals and nature around you, like checking in on you. It's almost like we're helping you clear, becoming one with that energy. So yeah, that's very protected. I feel like spirit may be showing up in the physical a lot. I find that when I, especially at night when I close down, if spirit need to get something through to me, they'll bring it into the physical. That's when I tend to find I'll see angel numbers a lot more. I'll see little messages and nudges from, you know, the animal kingdom, or you know, something will come up and I'm like, oh, I think that was a message that I could feel it resonates. So you know, I feel like you're not missing out on anything if you do need to shut down, you know, at times, or take a couple of days to just be human, because spirit's still supporting you and they'll let you know that they're physically. So that's just a message. I keep being shown acorns in my hand. I don't know what acorns have to do with anything, but I keep being shown them in my hand. So yeah, pile number 1, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading and it resonated. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if it did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pals, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance and messages your higher self has for you right now. So you guys chose the clear quartz. I'm going to start with tarot and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 2, please. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2. I feel like you guys are quite strongly clairvoyant. Because my third eye feels like it's very open. I feel like everything feels very vivid. I feel like I can see people's auras and I feel like I'm just getting visions a lot. Yeah, so I feel like you guys are very clairvoyant. I could literally feel it. I feel like my third eye is protruding out of my forehead. That's how it feels. Like I can feel an eye there. I don't know if in every day you can feel your eyes. I mean, I don't sit there and feel my eyes, but I feel like there's 3. That's the only way I can describe what I'm feeling. I can feel 3 eyes. That's the weirdest thing I think I've said on this channel. Pile number 2. Messages from pile number 2's higher selves, please. We have the 8 of Wands. Messages from pile number 2's higher selves. We have the World. We have the Ten of Cups. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 2. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 2. Messages from pile number 2's higher selves. Messages from pile number 2's higher selves. One more card, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 2's higher selves. Back of the deck, we have the King of Cups. I'm going to open. Hey part 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages and guidance your higher self has for you right now. You guys chose the clear quartz. I'm going to start with tarot and then we'll move on to the oracle cards. It's really started raining for your pile. It shouldn't be too loud, but if you hear noises in the background, it's the rain. So pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number 2. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 2s, please. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 2s, please. Guidance from pile number 2's higher selves. We have the 9 of Wands. Guidance from pile number 2's higher selves. Guidance from pile number 2's higher selves. Guidance from pile number 2's higher selves. We have the 2 of Swords. I feel like you guys have seen a lot in your lives. We have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Like, I want to say you guys have been through a lot or seen a lot. Maybe seen a lot of darkness. Seen a lot of corruption, I want to say. I don't know why I want to say corruption. I'm not being given an example. Corruption. What's the word? Because I know you've seen a lot. I can feel it. Pile number 2, please, Spirit Guides. I feel a bit emotional. I feel a bit heavy. We have the Temperance card reversed. And we have the 9 of Pentacles at the back of the deck, which I'm going to put here. Yeah, I feel emotional when I tap in because I'm being shown straight away that you guys have seen a lot of sadness, or you've had to really feel a lot of grief, and maybe you dealt with a lot of betrayal. You're allowed to feel anger, rage, frustration, hurt. Like, you're allowed to feel those feelings. Because the thing is you've kept your light through a lot of experiences. I'm being shown someone go through a lot of dark things, or just a lot of things that have made them feel disappointed. You've been through them, and I see you just like holding your light, and it's like, it's gonna be okay. it's gonna be okay. And then I'm seeing like a silver lining on a cloud, and it's like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. And then I see you guys purposefully putting the work in to maybe work with your shadow and clear what you've seen. And that's probably how you've fallen on this video, or fallen on my channel, or into spirituality in itself, because it's like you've chosen to do better for yourself. You've chosen to not let life turn you dark, which is beautiful. And I think that you've also been very much of a realist in working through your own pains, and where you've had to adapt and take on certain traits to work through certain feelings and emotions. And I see you guys doing such an amazing and beautiful job at clearing a lot of pain and a lot of grief. But there's a reference here really strongly to own any feelings that you're feeling right now, because right now I'm seeing a feeling of like, I feel fed up, I'm fed up, or I'm just angry, or I'm just sad, or maybe I feel a bit fearful, like there's a fearful feeling coming through. But I'm looking, because I've maybe had to carry the weight for people, because I've always had to have that silver lining approach, I'm seeing these feelings come up, or these feelings are coming up, and I don't want to feel them, and I don't want to, it's almost like I feel guilty to feel them. I have to stay together, I have to stay, I have to keep this candle, you know, lit. I have to keep this, I have to keep this happiness, you know, within me. I have to hold on to my heart space. And I want to say, purging these feelings, grief, anger, feeling fed up, feeling frustrated, wanting to put a big F you out, please honor those feelings. You're not going to lose your light or lose your connection to source or spirit. Or spirit's not going to run away because you decided to experience an emotion of, F this, I want more than this, I deserve more than this, I deserve better than this. How could you? Why would you? Because we can look at it from a spiritual perspective, and, you know, maybe understand karmic connections, and maybe understand from a spiritual perspective, okay, I needed to learn this lesson and that lesson. However, we have to also acknowledge and understand the human perspective and be like, you know what, I was a child, I shouldn't have gone through that, that wasn't fair. Doing that, you're giving a voice to your inner child to grieve emotions that maybe you weren't able to grieve in childhood, or feel anger that you weren't able to feel as a teenager, whatever the case, you know. You're giving voice to those emotions, and you're honoring them, because they would have been in your energy, in your frequency. They're coming up for you to feel them, and you have, it's your birthright to feel certain emotions. If somebody's hurt you, it's your birthright to be angry. You know, there may have been a karmic connection somewhere, there may have been a lesson in something, but that doesn't erase very human emotions and feelings of feeling disrespected, or feeling hurt, or feeling angry, or why did that have to happen? I'm annoyed at that. And that's a part of the process to release. It's like I'm being shown a rose with petals kind of like dying off. Those petals have to die off. My nana would always say, like, have you deadheaded your plants? And I'm like, but I don't want to do it, because I didn't want to get rid of the dead parts, because I thought, I don't want to get rid of them. And then I would be like, well, you're not going to get any new buds growing on the plants if you don't get rid of them. And you have to pull them off. You have to pull the dead heads off for the buds to come. And she'd always say it to me, have you deadheaded it? And a lot of the times I wouldn't, because I didn't understand. I thought I was just ripping my flower apart, until I realized, no, it's meant to happen for more things to grow. And these emotions that are coming through, they may be very uncomfortable, because I feel like you've had that kind of like good child syndrome a lot, where it was like, maybe you've had to self-sacrifice your own needs and emotions, and have to just stick up and put up with certain things in your earlier life, and maybe it's led into adulthood, and you had to do that at those times to survive. The human brain will have us adapt certain, you know, our inner child or our shadow self will have us adapt to certain behaviors, maybe to keep us safe, or to keep us, to have us keep going, you know what I mean, to help us get through something that may be very heavy. But there comes a time then where we have to change that, and to change that we have to feel the much needed grief or frustration, or, you know, certain memories circle back, certain emotions that were stored in the body come up, and they come up for release, and we have to feel them. So whatever you're feeling right now, I mean, it's raining outside, you know, we look at the rain like, oh, it's the rain. Have you ever felt really fatigued or had brain fog and then gone out in the rain? Because I have. and it clears me. I remember feeling so low when I ran to the shop to get some rice milk because I ran out of milk, and I was feeling really low. I didn't even want to go, and the minute I stepped out it started raining, and I was like, rain. However, walking in that rain, it refreshed me so much. When I came home I felt so good just from the rain, you know. So these feelings that you know that they're coming up, I know that they're gonna feel uncomfortable because maybe they're feelings you've never expressed. Maybe you were taught to never express those feelings, but you have a birthright to feel these feelings and feel why me, or you can feel them. You don't, and I feel like they're looked at as bad sometimes because sometimes people may wallow in them, people may get stuck in them, people may just stay in that frequency. And yes, we need balance, we need to swing the pendulum, but the way out is through. And our emotions are messengers, and sometimes those messages are from years and years and years back. It's the inner child, like, this is anger but I can't feel it now, I'll save it for a different day. And when you're feeling it in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or even in your late teens or early teens, if you're watching in your early teens, you know, they're coming up because it's like the inner child's like, oh, I feel safe to feel this now. I think I can feel anger now, you know? I think I can feel frustration now. I think I can feel that feeling of F this. And sometimes that feeling of like feeling fed up and F this creates this phoenix moment of change. You know, I'm going to put myself first. I feel disrespected. I'm going to make sure that I put myself first, or I'm going to make sure that I put this boundary in. It creates a change. So you're being called to really allow these feelings to come through, and really take care of yourself in that moment, because we do have the Knight of Pentacles reversed, and then we have Temperance reversed as well. So you guys may as well have been giving a lot of your energy to other people, and maybe feeling like you haven't been respected back or given your worth back or had that reciprocated, which is why you're being called into your own feelings right now and your own emotions. You may have found that there's people in your life that have recently, to spark these feelings coming up of grief, of anger, of whatever it is, maybe they've kind of shown a true face, or maybe they've treated you in not a nice way, and you're allowed to feel angry. Like, you're allowed to do that, and you're not only are you allowed to do that, but you're being called to really sit with yourself while that's happening, and really fill your life with any light that you can right now, because I feel like you've seen a lot of darkness. I almost feel like I'm on the defense. Like, I even feel like if I'm connecting with spirit or something, I feel on the defense about a message that's coming through. I feel like I need to fight constantly. And you're being called to put the sword down, but really feel what you're feeling. And I keep being shown somebody in their bedroom and connecting with their inner child and filling their life with like a lot of light, you know, watching programs where there is love and there is light and there is laughter and there is joy. Maybe watching silly TikToks, you know, where people are just, you know, I find on TikTok I follow people that are quite funny, because I need that pick me up, I need that laugh, and I like to watch things where I find human beings just being funny, because I find humans very funny. And you know, sometimes I can fall, and especially doing this work of seeing the shadow and everything and seeing the darkness, because there's a lot out there. And if you do this work that I do, you probably will feel that. You'll feel like you want to save everyone and fix everyone, and there's so much darkness, and you're allowed to even feel that on a humanity scale of like, there's so much going on, because there's a lot of intensity going on right now, there's a lot of harsh things going on right now, and we feel it. Allow yourself to feel it, honor that you have that feeling, and bring that much needed love and light to yourself right now, because you pouring into you and you doing the best for you is holding that frequency out for not just yourself but for Mother Gaia, and it helps shift that frequency on earth. Even if you feel like, you know, I'm not doing enough for people, or I'm not doing enough for the world right now, just by healing ourselves and clearing for ourselves and pouring into ourselves, it helps, you know. And you need to be where you need to be right now, and there's this feeling of like you've been there for a lot of people, so now it's time to be there for you, you know, and hold space for this anger and this frustration and this sad, or whatever it is you're feeling, because I felt heavy when I tapped in. You also, if you use crystals, you're being called to maybe grab onto crystals with a very light frequency, a very soothing frequency. I'm hearing aquamarine, I'm hearing ocean jasper, I'm hearing clear quartz, Silly night is a big one. Anything that you can get that makes you feel soothed. I'm hearing heart chakra singing bowls are going to be very helpful for you guys if you listen to sound therapy. Heart chakra singing bowls. Visualizing a green energy within your heart space. Maybe just lighting candles and being able to see light. But also anything that soothes your inner child. But you know what? I just feel like I want to sit with you, and I feel like I want to put on a movie that's like really funny and so silly that you just laugh, because it's like, that's so silly, that's so funny, you know? Like, I feel like being silly and seeing the light side and laughing, I feel like that's what you need right now. I don't know why I feel very emotional saying that. I literally want to put you in a blanket, give you a hot chocolate, and watch something really stupid. Like, watch something really silly, like a SpongeBob movie, or like, I don't know why I want to say Elf, because I find Will Ferrell in that hilarious. But that's what I feel you need right now. You need to be soothed while you deal with emotions that are very heavy. Because I feel like you've had to fight a lot in this lifetime. And you're being asked to put the sword down and just bring that love back in. And really take time out for you. Be your own healer right now is the question, is the message. Because through doing that, it's like as within, so without. Because we have the Nine of Pentacles here. And if you've been feeling like, I can't see why I feel this way right now, I don't understand why I'm feeling this way right now, I want to feel like the Nine of Pentacles, I want to feel abundant, I want to feel happy, this too shall pass. The rain's starting to subside outside as I go into your oracle cards. The sun's gonna come out, it's fine. But I think that you are dealing with some much needed heavy emotions that have been stored in your body, and maybe you've wanted to feel happy and wanted to, you know, maybe jump to a paradigm where you're feeling very happy and feeling very light, or come out of a dark night, or come out of a shadow period. And the answer to that is rest and bringing light back into your life in any way. Even going to the park and swinging on a swing, going down a slide, you know, silly things, light-hearted things Spirit want you to focus on right now. Because I feel like it's going to soothe your heart space and make you see light again. Because you may be hyper-focused right now on the heavy things going on in the world. And that's normal. I get that too. But you're not meant to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. And that's where you're being focused to maintain your heart space and center your heart space. Because I feel like you really feel the same way that you've been through a lot and seen a lot. I feel like you really do feel for people, human beings in general. Yeah, so pile number 2. Pile number 2. Messages from pile number 2 is higher self. I straight away, because I look down to my right, I have a night light, because sometimes I struggle to go to sleep, and I was having a hard time about 2 years ago sleeping in the dark. I couldn't do it for the life of me. And I bought, everyone was saying, why don't you put a little light on? But I didn't want to put a lamp on. I thought, oh, I'll get like a night light. So when people were saying night light to me, I think I was like 23 at that time. Yeah, I would have been 23 turning 24. And when people were saying to get a light or like a touch lamp or like a USB type of light, I'm sure they meant like a very adult light. I didn't do that. I got a baby's night light because it looked like a rabbit and it looked really cute and it soothed me. And I just, as I was, you know, thinking of that energy, I looked to my right and I just saw, I'm actually gonna grab it for you. And everyone was laughing when they saw it because they were like, that's a baby's night light. I'm like, yeah, I need it though. I'll show you it. This is it. It's for babies. It's like a little rabbit and it changes to different colors. I would put it on blue. It's not got battery in it at the moment, I don't think, but that's what I would use. And everyone was like laughing, like, that's so silly. I'm like, so? Because I just needed a nightlight and that was my favorite one. So there's something about doing silly things and the inner child and laughing and laughter. And I think that maybe, I don't know what job you guys have, or maybe it's just life in general has been very serious, or you've been in a very serious energy. You're being called to play, rest, soothe, and bring the funniness, silliness back. So you have the tiger. Could have been all your life too. You may have just been running on adrenaline, you know. We have, I choose to be unstoppable. My passion is power. I am bold. I am brave. Mighty forces come to my aid. I feel like that's the energy you've always been in. And you know, there's a feeling with the anger and the frustration and the falling back of like, what if it's taken away? I don't know what you've gained that you feel is going to be taken away, but there's this feeling of like, what if I lose control, or what if it's taken away, or what if I turn dark, or what if I turn like this person that hurt me, or what I see in the world, like what if I turn that way if I feel these emotions. And we put such a negative connotation on anger and frustration and all of that. We really demonize them, but through purging them out, they're not overflowing, they're not creating blockages, and they're coming out. And I feel like Spirit's with you. You don't need to be on all the time, and you don't need to be fighting all the time. It's not always supposed to fall back onto you. You deserve to feel safe. You deserve to feel held, and you deserve a safe space to create and be abundant and be silly and be happy, because life isn't supposed to be serious all the time, or it can really bog us down, and that's the message. You may also have had to be in charge of things or in control of things. You may have grown up parentified, so you had to maybe parent your parents, or work through a lot of heavy emotions from young, and it was like, okay, these darker ones, I'm gonna keep them, you know, I'm gonna hide them away, I can't feel them. Or maybe you expressed anger or frustration when you were younger and you were told to keep it in, but your inner child feels safe enough now to let it out. There's a weepy feeling, I feel. Pile number 2, or somebody recently has triggered a feeling to come up. Something's happened to trigger a feeling that I'm almost being told you would have packaged in a box at the time it happened. So like, for example, let me just think of an example. You could have been cheated on, and that feeling of disrespect, maybe at the time you couldn't deal with it because maybe you had like a big promotion at work, or you had other things going on that you had to focus on, or maybe, you know, some of you guys may have children, so it's like, let me just focus on this. So you've packaged it away and put it in a box, because your brain wouldn't have been able to deal with it at that point. And now it's like that shadow part of you, that inner child's like, oh, by the way, there's this box that needs to be cleared, and I have anger and disrespect from that time period, and you may have not wanted to deal with it, and then someone's come in and triggered that wound, or someone's come back and triggered that wound, or that memory's just started to arise out of nowhere, and that box is then opened or thrown on the floor, and it's like, oh, I've got to deal with this now. But dealing with it, then it's gone, you know, it's transformed, and you always come back to where you need to be. You always come back to your heart space. We have cat independent. You have a lot of cat. You may have a strong connection to cat beings, you know, feline energies, maybe Lyran energies, or like lions, tigers. I was going to say donkeys then. I don't know where donkeys came from. Lions, tigers, jaguars, leopards, and, you know, cats in general. You're a natural leader. Your intuition is strong. You don't have to go with the crowd. Life supports you in every way. So with independent energy as well, I feel like you've had to heal by yourself, accept apologies that you didn't get, work through, you know, a lot of deep inner wounds. You've made changes, you've made shifts, you've done everything very independently. But just like cats, you know, they know when to hunt, they know when to fight, they know when to go out and get their food, but they also know when to rest. All 4 of my cats are resting right now. They're fierce, of course, they're cats. However, they know when to rest and curl up. They know when to play, you know. They're not always having to fight, you know. And you're being called to rest. I wish I could show you Jasper. He's just curled up into a ball, cuddled up. But yeah, and cats as well, you know, they protect us in the spirit world. And whether we realize it or not, they energetically take a lot of what we're purging away from us. They cleanse it, they clear it. Or they protect and watch over us. And I because they're taking in that energy and they're absorbing any of that energy, they like to go places then to rest, chill out, you know, curl up in a ball and sleep, and they're clearing that energy. That's what I believe. You don't have to believe it, but that's what I believe. And you're being called to be like a cat, like you've just been on a hunt you know, or maybe you've been chased by something. Now it's time to curl up under a tree and feel safe enough to rest and take a nap. You know, take a nap. You need you right now. You need you more than anyone else needs you right now. Of course, if you have young children, then of course. But other than that, you need you right now. You need your attention. You need your tenderness. You need your love. You need your care. You need your acceptance and understanding while you work through emotions that you've been told your whole life you shouldn't be feeling, you know? Because I'm being shown a pile that has seen a lot, that's been disrespected, and has just had a lot of things thrown at them. And you're allowed to be frustrated. You're allowed to own that. Okay? You're allowed to feel those feelings. I don't know if you didn't feel safe in childhood, because I keep hearing I'm allowed to have a safe space. I'm allowed to feel safe. My body can, you know, it's like I'm telling my inner child, you're safe. You're allowed to feel safe. You're allowed to feel safe. If you hear creaks, it's the poles. But yeah, that's what I'm really referencing. I'm allowed to feel safe. I'm allowed to feel soothed. I'm allowed to move. I'm allowed and I'm entitled to a life of gentleness and a life of peace. I'm allowed to rest. Pile number 2, messages from pile number 2's higher selves. It's a heavy time collectively right now. It's funny because I wasn't going to show the back of the deck. The back of the deck is the Lion. So you literally have 3 cards related to cats. Higher calling. You have within you all the courage you need. Let go of the past and reclaim your majesty. You will find success and contentment with those by your side. Make noble choices for your life and your tribe. That's what that says at the back of the deck. But the card that came out was the Hummingbird. You are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love. Oh God, that was Spirit saying, yep, listen to me. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. No matter what you have been through in your life, I feel like you've given so much love to people, so much understanding to people. You've motivated people. You've really lifted people up. You've really lifted people up, and you've really been a light for people. And maybe you're feeling right now like you don't see a light in the world. Because I think you've given so much of it out. I feel like you give your light out, you give your light out, you give motivation, you make people feel happy, you soothe people, and that's where the reference then is coming in. You are the joy bringer, but you need to bring joy to yourself too. What happened to joy, you know, in your life too? You need inspiration for that. You need a safe space for that. You need to show yourself what there is to be happy for too. You need to replenish yourself. You need to replenish your energy. Because this light you're giving out, you deserve it back too. It's not just for other people. I feel like people have taken advantage of you sometimes wanting to help. And it's fine that you want to help. Because I do feel like you guys are healers. But we have to pour into ourselves first. And then anything extra, anything that's overflowing, that's for other people. Nobody's entitled to your life force or your energy like that. And I want to say you're not a machine too. So you're really being called to be silly, be fun, do things that make you feel joy, even if you don't in the moment. Like, even if, like, for a sec you're just like, no, I feel angry, or I feel frustrated, that's fine. You know, it's gonna take a moment for you to work through these feelings that are coming up to. Pile number 2, messages from pile number 2's higher self. Messages from pile number 2's higher self. Okay, I can't I'm not going to try and pronounce the card. I'm just going to show you it, and then I'm going to read the pamphlet, the little booklet bit. Message is, pile number 2, your inner spiritual power can heal circumstances in your life and our world in ways greater than you realize. Journey within to gain clarity and conscious redirection of your inner energies towards what you wish to manifest. Do not try to control what is happening. Instead, work to bring positive influence to bear so that you may contribute constructively towards shaping the outcome for the greatest good. Interesting. Journey within to gain clarity and conscious redirection of your inner energies. What I'm strongly taking from that message, especially with it talking about journeying within to gain clarity, I think that you guide people through this life. I think that you help people heal, and I think you do it a lot of the times because you've been through a lot. I think that you guide through experience. This is how I made my way through this. This is how I made my way through that. Or you just understand the levels of empathy and depth in people because you had to reach them in yourself. You're coming to a point where you are learning to, how do I put this into words? It's almost like, because you've had to purge so much, it's like you're bringing light back into your life. Because I keep being shown wires connected to a bunch of people, and it's like I'm turning them around and I'm connecting them back to myself. You're coming into a time now where you're about to maybe emerge from a cocoon, or come out of a shadow period, or come out of a dark night period, a period where you've had to really go inward and deal with really dark energies and deep energies that you've had to purge. You're coming to the end of that, and that's why you're being called to allow life to inspire you again, allow your inner child to inspire you again. Romanticize your life in different areas, allow yourself to chill and just be lighthearted and be funny and just do fun little things just because. I think that you're also someone that sees the meaning of life and the depth of life, which is really beautiful, but you're also being called to tap into the other end of the spectrum of just laughing for the fun of it and just being joyous for the fun of it. As I say that, the sun's just come out. I don't know if it's showing in the on the camera, but the sun just beamed on me and I feel quite warm. So I think that was a reference of bringing that joy back and listening to your intuition of why you can direct that joy back into your life, and hold space for yourself as you're processing these emotions, but also show yourself, like I said, light workers as well, they're not always connected to spirituality in the way that you think. Like, light workers can be comedians, light workers can be actors and actresses that are making funny movies and lightening you up, and they can be producers, they can be people that write books, they can be authors, they can be artists, they can be all kinds of things. And you're being called to, I know you've looked at things from a deep spiritual perspective, which is needed for the whole view, but you're being called to then just look at the joys of life. The flowers in the garden, they look beautiful. I just want to be with them. I want to look at them. I want to be inspired by them. I want to be one with them. I'm going to go and dress up in pink and watch the Barbie movie because I can. You're entitled to joyous experiences as well, and being silly and letting your hair down and having fun. You're entitled to those feelings as well. I think sometimes you may punish yourself for wanting to be silly and wanting to rest and wanting to fall back. But sometimes we need to do that in order to catapult forward, and you're being asked to bring that joy in whichever way you can, even if it's buying a little rabbit nightlight like I did, but yeah, I feel like whatever your inner child needs right now, I feel like both messages reign true, because whether you're at the point of purging the difficult emotions or you're feeling a little bit stuck and you can't bring light back, either way you would have been through one or the other on that journey, because I'm literally being shown the journey. So wherever you are and what I've just said, whether you've been processing the dark emotions, anger, frustration, or whether you have already felt those emotions but you are now finding that you're seeing just a lot of darkness in the world and you're feeling low, whichever part you're at, take whichever guidance or messages that you need at that moment. So if you're feeling that anger and you're not wanting to express it, allow yourself to feel it and allow yourself to hold yourself. But if you've already felt it and you've been going through it, allow yourself to bring that light and love and funniness and fluffiness back into your life, because you deserve that too. You deserve to bring humor and laughter and fun and lightheartedness back, in whichever way you feel is right. So that is the message that I have from your higher selves, pile number 2. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading, and I hope that it was helpful. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what messages and guidance your higher self has for you right now. So you guys chose the orange aventurine. I'm sure when I purchased it was called the yellow aventurine, but it looks orange to me, so I just say orange. But you know, I don't know why I felt the need to tell you that. However, we're gonna get in. We're gonna bring messages through from your higher self. The sun has come out for your pile. It was raining the majority of pile number 2s, and it lightened up at the end. So you have the sun for you guys, which I feel may be resonant to this reading, especially because I was debating on orange and yellow, which is the sacral chakra and the solar plexus, and I'm thinking of like the sunny orange and yellow energies of the sun. So yeah, pile number 3, please, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s. What guidance does pile number 3's higher selves have for them right now? What guidance does pile number 3's higher selves have for them right now? Oh, and of course, we're talking about the sun, solar plexus energies. We have strength. Perfect for Leo season. So we have strength. We have the 7 of Swords. Pile number 3, messages from... I just shared the song by Mac Miller and Ariana Grande, and it's called My Favorite Part, and Ariana sings, "You don't know how beautiful you are." I just heard that. Pile number 3, messages from pile number 3's higher self. We have the 5 of Pentacles reversed. One more card, please, spirit guides. One more card. Pile number 3's messages from pile number 3's higher self. 2 of Swords. Okay. Back of the deck, you have the 6 of Swords. The back of the deck. Okay. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3. I think you guys in life have dealt with a lot of people that have, like I keep being shown a flame, like the sun, like a flame and a light, and then there's like moths around me, but then it's almost like the moths are trying to convince me that I need to snub my flame out. Like the moths are trying to convince me that my light is too bright, or the moths are trying to convince me that I have to accept them like all around me and maybe sucking on my energy or taking my energy. They're trying to convince me that they're entitled to my energy. They're trying to convince me that they need to have some of my energy, or they need... It's quite interesting. Like I either need your energy or I'm intimidated by it, so I need you to hide it away. I need you to shun it away. And then it's almost like gaslighting. Like that's what, like I feel like I'm a moth and I'm trying to gaslight. It's like, you should dim your light. You should put your energy away. Like you should, you know, dim your light, make it lower, make it lower, make it lower. And then it's like, it's like I'm feeding off of it. I'm feeding off inspiration from you. I'm feeding off things that you've said, but I'm not. And I see you guys giving like guidance and help to people or helping people, but then it's like almost like they're taking it and it's helping them, but they're not saying thank you, or they're not showing you gratitude, because it's like, let's not make their head too big. Like that's a feeling that I'm feeling, and I feel like you may have dealt with that a lot in your life, because when I opened up and I heard you just don't know how beautiful you are, it's like a lot of people are really inspired by you. A lot of people do look up to you, and a lot of people really do see your light even when they act like they don't. And I feel like you've had people in your life really try and maybe knock you off your pedestal or make you settle for less because that's all that they could give, and they still wanted you in their life. They still wanted your warmth. So it's like, I'm going to make you settle for this because I know I can't give you this, or I can't, I don't feel adequate enough to stand next to you. So it's almost like, I'm going to maybe breadcrumb you, or I'm going to make you feel like, or I feel better when you maybe don't know your worth because then you're settling for this. And then I feel like the more you understand your light and the more you grow and the more you evolve and the more that you feel more confident, it's almost like these moths are around and they're almost like feeling entitled, like, well, you should be bringing me with you, or you should be giving me this, you should be giving me that, you should be, keeping me in your life, I should still have this. It's almost like people are feeling entitled to your energy. And the reason I'm talking about it so strong is it's literally here with the Seven of Swords. It's like people are feeling entitled, or even if feeling entitled to wanting you to dim your light, which doesn't make any sense. It's almost like maybe I should have that success, or I should have that power, or I should have that, I should have some of that light should be mine. And I almost feel like you've been a target of that, people trying to put you down. And it's kind of created this way of looking at yourself, this distorted way of looking at yourself, where you don't see yourself as the lion, you don't see yourself as sometimes capable, like you don't understand all that you are. And I see so many like aspects of your personality that maybe I'm being shown like a swan, like origami, like when people create like swans out of paper, and it's almost like I'm this beautiful swan. But then people have picked at me or tried to like dim my light, or even try to attack me or trying to feed off me, that I keep folding myself back. Like it's almost like I'm folding myself into like a really small square and I'm hiding the swan away. It's like I'm folding myself up. So it's like I'm almost picking at myself and my personality. Like I see you guys, maybe you're very reactive to things. So you're very open to things and very like, this makes me feel happy, this makes me feel sad. And maybe you've had people like, you're doing too much, so it's like, let me fold that piece over. And maybe you felt very confident about yourself, and you were maybe putting an outfit on, and then someone was like, why do you care, we're literally going here, we're literally going there, why would you do that? So it's like, oh, okay, maybe I won't do that. Or maybe you were very expressive with your emotions to people, and then people were like, why are you doing that? Because maybe they weren't able to express it. So it's like, hide that. And then one by one, it's like I'm folding things over. I'm not being as confident and as loud as I once was. I'm not shining, as bright as I once was, because I'm either not wanting to attract the moths that are trying to feed off it. I'm trying to hide away from people that are trying to chuck things at me. And I'm also maybe trying to, I maybe feel that I'm not worthy of shining as bright. So it's like I keep folding myself until I'm the square and I'm no longer this beautiful big origami. And I feel like there's been times in this life where, and I feel like you've settled for less because people have made you feel like less than. If I can make that person feel less than, then they'll settle for less, and then I can have them around, but I don't have to maybe give as much. And I think you've dealt with a lot of that, and right now you're being called to unfold yourself and become that, origami, that beautiful bird, swan, whatever they're called. You're being called to allow those aspects out, because there's parts of yourself that I feel that there's almost like a weird energy around it. It's like I shouldn't be too expressive, I shouldn't be too loud, I shouldn't be posting as much on social media, I shouldn't be singing for no reason, I shouldn't be wearing outfits that make me shine bright. You're meant to do that, you're meant to be that light, you're meant to. And again, it's like I shouldn't really tell that person that I don't like it when they do that. I shouldn't really put that boundary in with that person. I shouldn't really ask for my worth is the message coming through, because I'm asking for too much. Who am I to be doing that? And you're being called, no, make noise, make moves, shine, put that boundary in with that person. I always say, and I probably said it to you in a reading before, People that don't like the boundaries that we put in were benefiting from not being able, they were benefiting from us not having boundaries in the first place. And anyone that loves you and respects you and loves your energy, they're going to want you to have those boundaries and have those healthy boundaries. And that's a really strong message here, because you're being called to really look at where you felt like you needed to fold yourself in, you know, in relationships where you felt that you needed to feel small, or in public when you felt like you needed to hide away. You're really being called to look at those parts when you had to fold yourself, and you're being called to coax them out. Like, I keep being shown like a feral cat hiding under something, and it's like I've got treats in my hand and I'm coaxing them out. You're being called to bring them out, because I feel like you've been working on your worth, you've been learning your worth, maybe you've been grieving and healing, and maybe you're stepping towards a bit of a comeback in that area. 100%, because Two of Swords, I'm hearing Blind by SZA, and she sings about having loads of love inside of her, but she can't see it, she's blind. And it's almost like a reverse. It's like with the Two of Swords, it's like I can't see my worth, or I can't see that goodness, but it's like you're being called to pull that back into you. You're being called to do and express feelings and emotions, and maybe make little tweaks that made you feel good, you know, even if it was wearing, you know, that really nice dress to go to the shop and purchase some milk. Like, even if it was you know, standing up for yourself, being confident, being happy for no reason. You know, maybe you were someone that just always saw the lighter side, and people were like, oh, be real, get real, and you were like, oh, okay, and then you started looking for the dark, and now you're being called to you know, you're finding your way back. You know the song by Beyonce, Find Your Way Back? That's what I'm hearing right now. I feel like you're coming back to your light and your confidence, and Spirit really want you to see, especially if it's a talent or, you know, career path you're in, not only how good you are in that, but how worthy you are of success and happiness and abundance there. Because with the Five of Pentacles reversed, I feel like you may be very modest when it comes to like things that you do for people, or things that you do in regards to your like career, you know, like I see you maybe like putting a price list up and then feeling like you're asking for too much, but you're doing a service, or you're like working your ass off for something. You deserve to be compensated by that, you know what I mean? And that's a reference. It's almost like I should be more modest, because people may have told you that in the past. You shouldn't pay for this, or you shouldn't, you know, you should be grateful that I'm even here. And you've kind of, that's all in my brain, and I feel like it's unraveling. But you're being called to really pour into yourself, in regards to the solar plexus and the ego, and building your ego up, and building your solar plexus up, and being your cheerleader, and doing things that make you feel happy, and doing things that make you feel excited and make you feel good, and putting those boundaries in that make you feel empowered. You're really being called to really circulate and acknowledge those parts of yourself right now, because I keep being shown, like, you know, when you hear Eminem and he's like, guess who's back again? Like, there's this feeling of like I've given all of my light away, or I don't feel like I once did. I don't feel as special as I once did. I don't feel as good as I once did. I don't feel as confident as I once did, because I feel like people have really tried to pull you off your pedestal, or made you feel like they're entitled to you when no one is entitled to your energy. And you're climbing back onto that pedestal. That's why I feel like I'm coming back, you know? It's like I'm back again. You know when a celebrity brings like an album, it's like, I'm back. Like, that's how it feels. And you may even feel like that's silly, like, oh, but I'm not a celebrity. Well, guess what? To me, you are, you know? And to your inner child, you are. And to those parts of you that felt like they needed to fold themselves within, that inspiration is still within you. And now you're being called to inspire yourself, activate yourself. Look what I did. Look what I went through. Look what I got through. Look what I did, still here with a smile on my face. Look what I did. Look what I overcame, you know? Look how I inspired people. Look what I did. You're being called to that inspiration. Look at that light. Like, I feel like you're a candle and you feel like you're about to go out and you're looking for a light, and it's like, Spirit's like singing that you don't know how beautiful you are. I'm popping that candle in front of the mirror and going, it's in the mirror. It's in the mirror. Look at everything you've done. Look at everything that you've overcome. Look how good you are at this. Look at this skill that you've mastered. Look at this. Look how you got through that. And it's like using that as a source and a light to get you to where you need to be and have you feeling good again. Because there's this feeling I've given my light away. It's like, you know what, you can keep that. You know, that was inspiration for you. Glad you enjoyed. The boundaries are up now. I'm going to need this light for myself now. I'm going to need to inspire myself now. I'm going to need to pour that into myself right now. And it's like that light that was going out, it's feeding you. And then you turn into this big, being like a bonfire. And it's like really big fire. And that's why we've got the Five of Pentacles reversed, because it's like, I know my worth, and maybe I'm going to be paid my worth. Maybe you've not felt, because it's like imposter syndrome, maybe you've not felt entitled to, you know, a certain level of abundance, which has kept you feeling small, like, oh, I don't need money, or I don't need this, or I don't need that. And you felt kind of, I shouldn't be thinking of these material things. But we deserve to have material things here too. Everything is energy. Everything is currency and money. It's energy, and you deserve that back too. You deserve to live freely and abundantly in whichever way that feels for you. And you're stepping into that, but the way there is, the doorway there, the pathway there from feeling like you don't know how to feel confident again, it's actually looking in the mirror, because you're a very inspiring person, because Spirit's letting me know that. I think you guys have a very beautiful heart, but I also think that you've overcome a lot. You're a very inspiring person, and not only do you inspire a lot of people, I think it's time now for you to be inspired by yourself, because I think you've done amazingly, and that's a really strong message. Yeah, definitely romanticizing your life is a focus, and you deserve to do that too. I know some people will say, oh, it's a little bit of a shallow thing to do, but romanticizing your life in whatever way, it can really help, you know. I remember when I was down bad, I was doing a lot of shadow work for a period of time, and my health was really bad as well, and I was feeling really low. And what helped me literally was, like, for me, it was around the festive seasons. It was around autumn and Christmas, and I always hated Christmas and autumn. I didn't like those time periods. And I started romanticizing it. I started finding the joy in it, and you know the Christmas time, and immersing myself in all the holiday stuff, and it worked. Like, I started to get super inspired by life, even if it was just like putting a Christmas tree up and putting little baubles on and buying the little snow fairy spray from Lush, and baking like things. Like, it was so cliche, and it was very capitalized, the capital side of Christmas, but like it made me feel joy listening to the music, and I'd get matching Christmas things with my sister, and it made me feel joyous, it made me feel happy, and it made me feel good, you know what I mean, to show up for that like time period like that. It brought joy back into my life, and you're being called to do that. I know it's not Christmas right now, you may be watching this at Christmas, but even if you're not, you're just being called to bring that into your life right now and celebrate you. You're really being called to celebrate you. If you may be a Leo, so happy birthday, because it is Leo season. Or you could be Virgo, because we've got Virgo season up next as well. So celebrating your birthday there. But even if it's not your birthday, you're not a Leo, just celebrating you and doing little things for you, little self-care moments for you, or just really looking back at things you've gone through and treating yourself for that, and making yourself feel good for that, and praising yourself for that. I feel like you're one of those people that could do like 101 amazing things and then still feel like you haven't done enough. And I think you've been taught to feel that way too, to keep you in a loop of having to feed people. I feel like maybe lately as well, you've had a lot of moths trying to pull at your energy too. Maybe you've had to put in some boundaries. Maybe you've had to cut people off. And maybe people have tried to make you feel wrong for doing that. I feel like people have done that to you. You've put in boundaries, or you've stepped away from people that may have been causing you harm or hurt or not evolving, and you've had to like dead something off, and people have made you feel like, who are you to do that? Pile number 3. Messages from pile number 3's higher self, please. I was shuffling the wrong cards. Messages from pile number 3's higher self. We have the Dear Love. Be gentle with yourself. You heal with the power of love. See the light in all things. Acknowledge your self-worth and grace. Self-worth, see? That's what I was being shown. Solar plexus, sacral chakra, solar plexus, sacral chakra. Acknowledge your self-worth and grace. You heal with the power of love. I feel like some people have benefited from you feeling small. Maybe feeling like you're about to go through a comeback. It's comeback season, I'm hearing. Yeah, I keep being shown a bolt of lightning and you guys being bold and like popping out with something. And sometimes it's just confidence that you had lacked for some time. Maybe people made you feel less confident. Sorry for my croaky voice, by the way. I've had a really bad throat the last week. I'm kind of stressed, not gonna lie. So my throat's been getting, that's why I took a break, because my throat was playing up. It's better now. I haven't got a sore throat anymore, but it's still a bit croaky. Be gentle with yourself, yeah. You may be from that pile, if you watched my inner child pick a card reading, or if you are going to, maybe from the pile I was saying where the inner child looked up to the pile that I was reading for, like the inner child looked like you're my superhero, you're my savior. Because there's a feeling of that with the 2 Ds here. I almost feel like one's the baby and one's the adult. It's probably not that, but that's what I'm energetically picking up. It's like showing each version of yourself like, no, you are a diamond, you know, and pouring that love into yourself and confidence into yourself. Pile number we have Cougar, assertive. In silence you find power. Claim your leadership role and take action. You know where to go and what to do. You have the courage and confidence to succeed. You may be trying to position yourself somewhere in your career or go after something that people may be telling you is too big, or you may be about to make a move, but you might be feeling right now like, in the past I felt really excited to jump after that goal, but now I don't feel worthy enough to go after that goal. You're being called to look within for that confidence and look in the mirror for that confidence, because I feel like I need to look at what I've already accomplished and be like, this next thing is a piece of cake compared to what I've gone through or what I've worked through. You know what I mean? There's a reference there. And also with the what looks like a mask, it's almost this feeling of like fake it till you make it as well. Tricking the brain into confidence at the same time. Of course, if you are feeling feelings of inadequacy and insecurity, give space to them. Give grief to part of yourself that felt that they needed to fold over. They may also, those parts of yourself that folded over may have something to say as well, so they may have an emotion stored there, and it's okay to grieve and feel that. And you will probably feel a dip of maybe feeling a bit insecure at the time or feeling a little bit sad at the time, but once you've processed that, you're going to fold that back out and allow that to come back out. And I'm being told to say the story, when I went to college, because I did beauty therapy and skin therapy when I went to college, and I was with a lot of people that had quite like easy upbringings, and they always were married together, and I didn't grow up with a lot of money, and I went through a lot in my childhood. And I had this one, we'll say she was a friend because I called her a friend at the time. I had this one friend, and she'd known of certain things that had gone on with me. She would constantly let me know how inadequate I was to her, and she would constantly, you know, I used to like dress in a certain way and whatever, and she would constantly pick at it. The music that I listened to, because I listened to like Eminem and stuff, she would constantly pick at it, and she would really put me down, to the point that when I look at that 3 years, when I came out of that course, and I was still friends with her when I came out of that course, I was an entirely different person. I dyed my hair, I would wear my makeup a certain way that I felt was acceptable. I'd literally wax all of my eyebrows off. I had no eyebrows, and I used to draw them on. And I would act a certain way. I would be quiet all the time. I didn't see my worth. I felt like the lowest, you know? And when I was going through you know, a lot of my self-love journey, a lot of what I loved was coming back to me, and that uniqueness was coming back to me, and it felt like a journey home, you know. All of the things that I would hide, I was embracing them again, you know. And like, I remember getting my like Doctor Who t-shirt, because I love Doctor Who, and like wearing that, and I felt so proud. I felt like I was like turning to the old version of me and being like, yeah, I can, you know, you can embrace this side of you, let it out, you know what I mean? You're not broken for going through this and that. It's almost like people sometimes will find cracks in your foundation to kind of dismantle your worth, and I feel like you've been through that, but whatever it is that makes you feel unique and empowered and bright and happy and allows your inner child to sing, please express them, and please allow your inner child space to express them, you know. You don't have to go buy a Doctor Who t-shirt, but like, allow yourself to, you know, allow your inner child to sing and play and bring these things out, because that's going to ignite that flame as well, and it's going to bring you back to that joyous feeling and that light-hearted feeling as well. Pile number 3, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 3's higher self. Oh, what have we got? Oh, we have butterfly. We have butterfly rebirth. You can reinvent yourself, open to the rewards of change. You have brilliance to share with the world. Love every part of your journey. You know, the butterfly has to be the caterpillar at one part of its journey, because it's part of its story. The caterpillar has to go into the cocoon at one point. You know, it has to turn into an evolved piece of gloop, you know, to because it's part of its journey to become the butterfly. And when we go through shadow periods or we lose ourselves, the comeback's always stronger than the setback, because now we have wisdom. So when we feel like our light has been snuffed, or our flame has gone down significantly, when we ignite it again, it comes back stronger, because the wisdom that we have has now given us a newfound sense of love and self-worth, and it also shows us where there were cracks in the foundation before, so no one can make their way in again. No one can make their way into dismantling that again, you know. And the moths that are attracted to the flame, you know, they'll respect the boundaries, and they'll, you know, stay away unless you choose to help, or you want to help. They're not going to try and make you feel entitled, and even if they try to, you already know your worth, and you know that you're bringing a certain energy, and you can retract that whenever you want to, and it helps you attach to this level of self-worth where it's like, you can't penetrate this, you can't dim my light anymore. And I think that you've been going through, with the butterfly card, I feel like you've been going through a butterfly phase. I think that you've been going through an alchemization of maybe the solar plexus, feeling those feelings of inadequacy, and feeling those feelings of not feeling good enough, and I feel like you're rebirthing through them, and finding your worth in that chaos. And like I said, the comeback is always stronger than the setback. I'm hearing Hard Out Here by Ray, and she sings, no weapon formed against me shall ever prosper. And she sings like, baby I bounce back, baby I bounce back. It's like all through the song, and that's the song that I'm hearing for you guys. So it's Ray, R-A-Y-E, Hard Out Here. Ray, R-A-Y-E, Hard Out Here, and it's got a full stop at the end. That's the song I'm hearing for you guys. Pile number 3. Pile number 3, please. Messages from pile number 3's higher self. Final card, please, Spirit Guides. Messages from pile number 3's higher self. We have Theta of Venus. I'm just going to put it down. I'm going to read you the passageway from the book, if that's okay. So let me get the... I was quite close, actually. There we go. Oh no, that's 26. Here we go. I got it. So this is what your message says from the book. Attune yourself to higher consciousness by choosing to access the purest frequencies of love within. Acknowledge lower frequencies such as judgment, fear, doubt, or shame when they arise within or around you, but do not give them a foothold in your heart. You are ready for higher understanding, to see things in a new and more positive light. Allow your inner knowing to guide you on a unique, beautiful, and highly spiritual path. And I love that Venus came through as well, because it's like that Venusian energy, self-love, you know, that feeling of beauty and love that comes from within. Like, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. No one can tell you that you're not beautiful. No one can tell you that. You determine what's beautiful to you, and no one can tell you that you're not worthy, because you determine that. You determine what's worthy or not, or how worthy you are. You determine it, you know? I think people have tried to maybe get into your head, or try to make you see things maybe as low as they see things, or this is all I can give, so I'm gonna, you know, it's like, I want that Chanel bag, let's say, and it's £3,000, and I only have 10 pence, but if I keep putting that Chanel bag down, they're going to believe they're only 10 pence. And you know what? I might be able to get it for free if I can try and, you know, make them believe that the Chanel bag isn't, you know, try and make them lower their price. And I always say designers don't lower their price. They don't go on sales. You don't see designers on sales, designer brands on sale. And they don't, because they know their worth. So, you know, think like you're a designer bag. Think like you're a designer. Don't lower, you know, lower your energy, stay on your pedestal, because anyone can feel the same way that they may see you, like, because people look up to you. It's like, if you want to be like that, like, you've got to work on yourself, not take it from other people, or tell somebody that they're too bright so they can come to your brightness. You know, the right people are gonna become that candle too. The right people are gonna shine their light too, and be like, oh, another light, let's conjoin, let's make a fire, you know. The right people are gonna uplift you too, and that's where you're being called to look in that mirror, because it starts with you. Yeah, I feel like you're about to come through a bit of a comeback. I see someone coming out swinging, feeling very confident. Look at me, look where I am. You know, I just see like a brightness exuding from you, like you really realizing your worth and asking for it unapologetically. I think that's why the butterfly came through. So pile number 3, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.